have a panel discussion around AI. There's been so much buzz around this all morning. There's been buzz around AI. And so we thought, can we not gather together some of the brightest minds that are working on AI currently in the space? And that's what we've done for you. We've got Jimmy Spears from Tractable. We got Bill Bauer. We call him Wild Bill, by the way, from Solera and Auditex. We got Raj from Claims Genius. These guys are absolutely crushing it in the AI world, in the collision world in particular. And they're here to share some insights on what is happening in the broader world of AI. Welcome to the Positivity Summit, my friends. It's good to see you.
Welcome, Raj. Welcome, Bill.
Welcome, Jimmy. We got to get Jimmy. Jimmy is. I think he's working his way back in here. Here we go.
He's coming.
He's coming. That's perfect. Well, why don't we go ahead and get started? And I think one of the big things that, of course, everybody looks at AI right now, and it's just like this. It's almost too much to comprehend because it's moving so quickly and things are changing so fast. So, Jimmy, if I can start with you, maybe. You guys have a huge footprint around the globe, not just in North America, but you guys are operating in Japan and in I know Spain and all over the world. Can you tell us a little bit about what you have seen change in the world of AI in the collision space even the last 12 months?
Yeah, I think the last 12 months is a really good way to look at it. What we've seen is a lot more implementations of moving everything closer to the customer. You're seeing the customer actually on the phone interfacing with it. You're seeing the customer having a text sent to them. Then they're able to take images of their car, and then the AI reports back to them, gives them a copy of that estimate. We're seeing, like Jesse just said, he had one of the Tractable Luma scanners at his location. So the customers are driving through this and instantly getting an appraisal within 90 seconds after they do this. So really what we're seeing is that everything's shifting left. We've seen it happen with how customers interface with big major brands. You think about Starbucks. Starbucks, you can order a cup of coffee, have it sitting there when you're delivered. That type of experience of getting it very close to the customer, having them interface with it, that's where we are in the last 12 months. And of course, the giant leaps and advancements of how well this is working. We just heard Jesse talk about that, man. This is working extremely well. Very accurate, very consistent.
And if it wasn't, he would say so.
Yeah, believe me, he would say so. He's our customer. So
we're starting to see. I think this scanner technology is really. I think it's going to grow fast. I get nervous every time I return a rental car and have to drive through one of those arches. Like, oh man, I hope they don't bust me this time. But
you drive through a bunch of mud puddles to make it really muddy and like maybe mess with the scanner or something, Dave? I've had these thoughts.
Maybe. Yeah. So Bill, the cool thing, Solera is it's a big company all over the world. I just want to hear what's some of the greatest advancements that you've seen recently, something that might surprise some people.
This is a positivity summit, and I think primary audience is body shop. So how would you feel if your body shop raised your revenue by 17%? By 17% without costing you more money, you're just raising your revenues dramatically. That's what we're seeing. Jimmy mentioned, like, today, everybody expects AI. They expect that simpler process. So we have a group of CarStar shops up in Canada.
Okay.
Sebastian Torres is the franchise owner. He's a very forward-thinking person. A lot of times people get scared of AI. Oh my goodness. Jesse mentioned earlier, like, are you afraid of it, or do you adopt it and find a way to use it? Sebastian found a way to use it. And so what he has put in place is a dramatic change. It seems simple when you talk about it, it seems simple, but it's been a dramatic change. And what that means is when a customer comes into his shop, with a damaged vehicle, the administrative person behind the desk that's greeting people, they're really good with customer service, by the way. They walk out, they see the car, empathize with the customer, take pictures. Let's say Bill's the guy that writes estimates, but he's sitting there at his desk. He's busy, knocking out a bunch of work. Well, suddenly, as Jimmy said, within a couple of minutes, ding, on his computer, he sees, hey, there's an estimate here and pictures. Goes in, takes a look. If he needs to go out and look at the car and raise the hood, he can certainly do it. It's right there. But most of the time, it just completes it within 4 or 5 minutes. Then the administrative person provides it to the customer and gets them signed up. Now, again, this sounds very simple, but think about it. What tends to happen, and by the way, my car's in a shop today. Unfortunately, they're not using AI, but and I won't name names. But when I took my car in, it had $3,100 worth of damage, but it took 2 days to get the estimate. Now, I was just going to leave it because I wanted them to do the work and not a big deal. But if I was just going in to get an estimate and it took 2 days to get it, I may have gone somewhere else and got an estimate and just changed my mind. But what's happening at Sebastian's shop, because he's got this process that's so efficient, when that customer comes in 15, 20 minutes later, they walk out not only with an estimate in hand, but the administrative person's already put them on the calendar. They've already got a scheduled time. Mm-hmm. So the reason he's seeing that 17% increase in revenue, he's not letting the customer leave the shop until they have an estimate, understand what's going to be done, and he has a much better chance of landing that deal. So 17% increase in revenue. He's seen a 25% reduction in keys to keys cycle time, because things, you're speeding everything up by days.
Really? And, that's very significant.
And then his Google customer experience or customer service scores have ratcheted up as well. He's 5 is the best you can get. He's like 4.7, 4.8. It's really ratcheted up. So to Jimmy's point, this is what customers expect in things that they do outside of claims. And I think this is a positive message. When you do it in claims, you're going to see some big impacts, not only for the customer, but for your bottom line.
Mm.
I love it. Hey, Raj, you've been doing this a long time in the AI space, and I've been a fan of yours for a long time, following your AI career, as it were. And this is something that's not new to you, but it is new to a lot of shops out there. Can you break down real life examples, kind of like what we heard from Bill, but how are shops leveraging AI technology? How does this really look for the future?
Yeah, first of all, thank you so much for the opportunity, Brian. This is always great to talk on this Positivity Summit. And I'll give you some, landscape and the real life example that I went to the shops here in New Jersey. By the way, right now, Claim Genius's platform is being used in US with about 200 plus non-DRP shops. And soon to be, it is going to be beyond 600 shops. Why non-DRP? Because, JC was talking about the DRP versus non-DRP difference, so I don't need to preach the choir here. But along with these 200 shops, non-DRP shops in the US, there are about 1,500 shops outside of the US is using Claim Genius. As a matter of fact, one of the largest OEM, they made Claim Genius mandatory into their about 400 shops in India. There is a change, and the change is quite significant about last year to this year. Last year, when we were talking to the shops, they were expecting a full-blown kind of an estimate with all the overhaul, refinish, and other operations. Mm-hmm. Most of the AIs were not able to do it. We identified that gap, and we obviously using these. There is a shift in the technology in AI as well, right? A lot of LLMs are coming, and a lot of data is kind of available now. It's not anymore under the hood with some of the traditional estimating platforms. So by using these LLMs and using the data that's available there, we were able to basically get this line level estimate. As a matter of fact, I just visited one of the, and I had mentioned you back about 3 weeks back, I guess, one of the Mercedes dealership here. They were amazed by looking at like 28 lines of an estimate. They're like, hey, this is going to basically help us not only getting the estimate faster, but this is also going to help us to schedule our jobs in a better way, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of times because of the space limitations, and the car comes here, it stays there. We don't have any service advisors who can write the estimate. If now we are basically with some of these examples, like in non-DRP shops, what they are doing, they are taking Claim Genius's link, sending it to the customer even before they drive to your location. So the shop mm-hmm. exactly know what they need to do when the car is coming in. If they don't have some parts, they can reschedule that, and they can be very efficient in scheduling the bays, in scheduling these cars. So basically repair faster, right? And what it used to take about a very minor kind of a damage estimate, it used to take them about 45 minutes. I mean, Bill just said about 2 days it is taking. Now with AI and the way that it is evolving, the estimates duration generation, I mean to say, is literally 2 minutes. I mean, I'll give you another example. I was at the Ramsey, New Jersey, at one of the dealership, and I was in the service lane because I wanted to go and then experience this personally instead of sending my team. I was in the service lane. I went around the car, took a 360-degree video. Literally within 3 minutes, at the desk, the entire estimate was ready. And that car, and I'll tell you, how AI has evolved. That car was muddy because 2 weeks back there was a foot of snow in Jersey. It was a black car, and that was a matte finish BMW X6. Very difficult for an AI to look at that car, matte finish car, with all the muds all over, and see a very tiny crack on that front bumper. So that is the evolution that has happened between what about 2 years back and now. So that's kind of the shops are expecting it. They are adopting it. As JC mentioned about, they have adopted AI. Many of these shops are adopting it. I recently got feedback from a shop, which is a very mom and pop kind of a non-DRP shop, very small. They said, we did not have enough people to fix our cars, and we were spending about hours to write the estimate. This is expediting. So basically it is getting repaired fast. Their revenue is increasing, as Bill said, 17% of it revenue increase. So that is how the technology is evolving.
So speaking of evolution, Raj, let me go to Bill and Jimmy real quick here. Right. Currently, AI is a very useful tool. And as far as I know, most platforms I've seen, it's only what you can see can it estimate, right? So what's next for AI, particularly as it is to writing appraisals, right? Are we going to see predictive estimating ever? Or are we going to see something that's going to incorporate ADAS calibrations? What's next, in your opinion? Let's start with Bill, and just we're almost out of time, but we'll be fine.
To be quick, but one of the things that we are launching later this year is something called Smart Suggestions. So it's basically taking because the nice thing about AI estimating, it continuously learns. So, what is, when the estimate was first written using pictures, and then, a few hours later it changed. So the system learns, well, if this changed in a few hours, that means there was something that wasn't correct. So it just continuously improves. So I think so when you think about how this will continue to evolve, is the more claims that go through the solution, the smarter the AI becomes. And so that's just going to continue to grow. It's going to continue to get more precise. It'll never be perfect. There will always be a need for someone, at least on the larger estimates, for someone to review before a claim is processed.
Okay. But so unlike the painters out there, your estimator's job might be safe for a while.
Oh yes. I think the thing that you might see here is that obviously estimators are going to be more productive. So, there may be shops that have a problem keeping enough estimators on the payroll, so they may be able to do the estimating with less staff, but you're still going to need quality estimators for sure.
Yeah, Jimmy, what do you think?
Yeah, we'll talk real practical for a minute or two. Probably the best guide I could give anyone that's in my business, and here's two of my peers, is that you stay very compliant with probably one of the most strict entities, regulatory, would be California Bureau of Automotive Repair. And I would caution anyone from assuming that there's damage that you didn't observe, right? Because that can certainly put you in a lot of issues. And you certainly don't want to automate issues. You don't want to automate things that ain't not compliant. And that's the guidance that I'm giving my team. But then again, I got 35 years in the insurance industry. just like Bill does. Bill and I worked together nationwide for years.
Oh, no kidding.
Desk side by side, just like you see on the screen right here. You know, so
they still like each other.
That's amazing. Yeah.
So I know that Bill's feeling what I'm saying. But now there's other uses of it. That smart suggestion that Bill talked about, that's the way to do it. It didn't say smart and add it in, smart, but suggest that it could be. And that really starts to help the blueprinter. I think that maybe we see less estimator and a heck of a lot more blueprinter. Heck of a lot more breakdown, get that thing right. Let's get these supplements, so they're not into the pipeline. And then we also have, Tractable has a product that's for salvage and total losses, right? So we help people that buy salvage, recyclers. That's when we're not repairing a car. We can use those insights that Raj and I and Bill can all generate. And with these insights, then we can say this car is probably the best one to buy for salvage parts because we believe that this one probably has a better engine transmission that see that it's not damaged. So there's a lot of ways that you can learn, but you can apply them in adjacent industries, but not get us in trouble with the California bar. And that's what I live and die by.
That's good. So Raj, one minute. What's the next evolution in your mind? Add on to what these guys are saying.
Right. So just to add on to what these guys are saying, right? When you asked about, right now, most of the AI is doing the exterior damage detections very well. What's next is basically not that you cannot see, right? Behind the hood, what is there? There are a lot of sensors, a lot of ADAS, equipments out there. What we are looking at a claim engineers from a standpoint, we are integrating with some of these ADAS calibration companies so that we can get this data based on our point of impact analysis. So basically, our technology automatically detects where the impact of the damage is, and based on that, it filters out what is UPD versus non-UPD. Based on that same point of impact analysis and these ADAS kind of calibration data coming in, we can basically even do better estimate, which is more of a diagnostic estimate, what is behind the hood. So that's an evolution that is definitely coming in. And then under the carriage, over the roof, like in hail damage and all. So this industry is changing. And as JC was saying earlier, it is not there to basically take out all the jobs, but it will take some of the jobs in a very positive way because the volumes of the cars are increasing, volumes of the claims are increasing. This year it is down, but it is going to increase. And to scale to that level, technology plus human is the positive impact.
So, boys, I got to see something really unique and really interesting the other day, and that was that using AI and the artificial intelligence that you all have been working on for predictive estimating and all those kind of things, coupling that with the vehicle manufacturer. So when they take a picture of the VIN number, they're trying to get the bridge, the integration built, where when they scan the VIN number, it'll pull the telematics from the vehicle at the real time. So as it's generating the estimate, it's building out the telematics so it can have a better prediction of what's going on underneath the hood, so to speak. So can we talk? I don't know if that's even available to talk about right now, but I got really excited when I saw that because I'm like, wow, now we're bridging the world of the vehicle manufacturing, sharing data with the estimatics where we can have a better AI estimate.
Yeah, and I tell you that's really all about insights. But you think about that's going to be a virtual ODB2 port, right?
Right.
So having those integrations with the carriers that really want to advance that for their customers is the way to go. I could probably see that happening with some more boutique companies that are entering our markets. You think about someone like a VinFast. I could see a Vietnamese electric car company coming in. I could certainly see that with Tesla sharing that with their network. No doubt about that. I think the traditional big three OEs are going to be a little bit tougher to move.
Right.
But I certainly agree with you, Ryan. There's going to be some things there, and all three of our companies are very open to things like that. And if we have those type of APIs and integrations, we can make things, everything that this industry and our customers demand.
Well, we have some vehicle manufacturers coming on this afternoon, so we will get to maybe look under the hood a little bit more on some of these insights. Gentlemen, thank you so much for taking the time today, sharing your insights, opening your playbooks for us. very insightful and very exciting for the future. So really appreciate you all joining us.